You know, in the 1900s, President Taft went to visit President Diaz, took 4,000 troops with him. Almost called it off. Guy with a pistol was going to walk straight up to Taft and blow his brains out. He was avoided. 4,000 troops. You think he felt safe? It's brilliant what they do when they mutilate a body like that. It makes people think they did something, that they deserve such a death. Oh, it's brilliant what they do. Hear that? Those aren't firecrackers. Spotter vehicle, left lane, getting a boner. Red truck, 2 lanes left. So I want to tell you a story of an upgrade. This one's going to be a little bit different today. Instead of bumbling through a script like I usually do, we're going to show you in real time a pressure test or burn down of a specific piece of gear that I picked up recently. Now, if you know anything about the channel, you'll know that I like guns with a lot of character and a hint of nostalgia. So my HK SP5 has been upgraded with a rail, a red dot, a suppressor, but there is kind of one black spot on the experience, the fire control group. So the standard MP5 fire control group is a little bit clunky. The safety is stiff and somewhat hard to reach for my medium-sized thumbs. The trigger is fairly heavy, not the best, not the worst. So enter the Lee Sporting Lower. All of those problems on the standard MP5 fire control group have been fixed on the Lee Sporting Lower. It's an aluminum housing with essentially AR controls. So you've got a radian safety, you've got a Geisley trigger, and it actually decreases your distance from the mag release button. So everything feels a little bit more compact and easy to wield. Definitely more ergonomic. Do you need one? Probably not. Do you want one? Maybe after this video. So we're essentially going to try to do 500 rounds of unaltered footage and see if this thing can make it through. And we'll also discuss a couple of the little bumps along the road that I've had with this process. And we'll talk about all of that as we shoot. So without further ado, here we go. Slap. Oh, the wind turned the page for me. So a couple features on the Lee Sporting Lower that definitely improve the system. Your safety is very easy to actuate. So you have a radian safety that is right there, and it's a 45-degree throw. Very easy to snap it on, snap it off, much like an AR. Slap. Slap. So in addition to the radian safety, you also have a Geisley trigger. There are a couple different versions of the least boarding lower that you can get. This one I got with a Geisley SDC, Super Dynamic Combat, I think. It's a short reset. It's about 3 to 4 pounds. But let's talk about my initial issues with the system. So when I initially got the least boarding lower, there is a little bit of fitting that you have to do. There's a little shim that goes on the inside of the lower to mate it to your specific receiver. So a lot of the times you'll have to kind of play with it just to make sure that it's not wobbling. So initially I had a lot of wobble between the lower and the main MP5 receiver. So you have to fit it, which is fine. There's a video on how to do that on their website. But I noticed that the trigger was very, very inconsistent. It went from like a 10-pound trigger pull, which is actually worse than the standard MP5 trigger. And then it would be like a Geisley, so like 3 to 4 pounds after that standard, or after that first pull. It was really weird. I also noticed that there was a lot of torquing of the trigger pins. The trigger pins, so you could see them walking back and forth within the receiver. And I don't know if that's like a QC thing, or if that was the lower receiver or the Geisley pins, but it just was doing weird things. And the trigger bow just didn't feel consistent. I had multiple people try it. We tried it with different types of ammo, but it'd be like super, super, super heavy, snap. And then the next rounds after that would be really, really light. So I called Lee Sporting, and he's like, well, we got to take a look at it, send it back in. He sent it back to me probably a couple weeks later, and he had installed some anti-walk pins. And since then, the trigger has been phenomenal. I mean, we're talking really, really good Geisley. You can see here, I'll show you, there's a little bit of take up, and that's it. I mean, in terms of the reset, you're on it. It's insane. So they fixed the problem. I don't know what was going on. It was a little bit frustrating that we had to go through that, but it has made it so good. Slap. 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 So let's talk about the grip. Ooh, little hook up there. So the grip, there are multiple different options for the grip. This is a Magpul MOE K grip. So if you're familiar with the K grip, it's a little bit shorter and has a little bit of a steeper grip angle. And that allows for smaller platforms that you hold closer to your body to be more comfortable to use. So it's very well suited for short AR platforms. It's super well suited for this. The texture is much better than the stock fire control unit, which you'll see I put some grip tape on. The reason why is this is just like smooth plastic. There's zero grip on this thing. So that's an improvement for sure. And just the fact that everything is moved forward, your hand is actually about back here with the standard grip. And because it's forward, you can just get a better purchase on everything. Oh, look, more mags. Slap. Thank you. Slap. Ooh, it's getting hot. Smoking. let's talk about price, because that's always something that people ask when we're talking about a platform like this. So it's expensive. You're probably talking $600 to $700. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it's pricey compared to other accessories for firearms. Is it worth your money? Is it for everyone? Not sure, because the standard fire control group works. It's very reliable. I've never had issues with it other than just ergonomically and the trigger, but it is better. It is the lease boarding is definitely better. Super hot. Make sure everything's still tight on here. No rattle. Other things, so the lead time. I think on their website they initially quoted a lead time of 6 to 8 weeks. Now, when I had purchased the lower, they sent out an email saying that they were having issues with their lead time at that time, and they couldn't predict when they would be ready. So instead of being 6 to 8 weeks, it turned out to be more like 12 weeks. And then I had the RMA issue. So it turned out to be more like, I don't know, 15 weeks from the time that I ordered till the time that I had a functional unit, which is, that's a substantial amount of time to wait for any custom item. It wasn't the best, but I've waited 2 years for a Nighthawk and 13 months for a suppressor before. So 15 months for a custom item that greatly improves the shooting experience. Is it worth it? Maybe. And hopefully now that they're kind of back up and running, I know they were having some issues with their production at that time, and their website now still says 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully they're more kind of more streamlined and they can handle the volume, because these are getting fairly popular on the internet. Ooh, gotta slap it, slap. Take one from the plate carrier here, slap. The last guy got away. Slap. We're getting there. 3 more mags and that should be 5 hundo. And it is smoking. Jeez. I don't think I've got it this hot before. It's kind of uncomfortable to shoot, hence why I'm grabbing it like teacup now. It's getting pretty hot. Should have brought gloves. 2 more. All right, so like I said, is the Lee Sporting lower for everybody? I'm not sure. It is an expensive upgrade. If you're maybe have a Zenith or a MP5 style clone, it would be an excellent upgrade since you're already saving some money on the initial gun. This is an SP5, so I'm already in it for a fair amount, but I mean, it makes it sing. You've seen it. I mean, it rocks. This is the Pop Doctor signing off. I may or may not be a doctor.